Math students in the world. This is lesson 12-2, making line plots. I don't need you to do a lesson every day, but it is important that you've done 12-1 before you move on to 12-2. So I'm not concerned about when you get it done, but I do care about the order. So make sure that's done. I see most of us have gotten to that, but some need to go and either finish or do 12-1. I have 2 questions from the PDF for warm-up. The best way to do this would be to pause your screen, answer it, and then we'll go over them together. Really pause your screen and answer them. Don't be lazy. Okay. The first one says the dot plot represents the number of children enrolled by age at a preschool. Select all the statements that are true. There are 3 of them. Did you select 3 of them? 14 children are at least 4 years old, and you would just count 4 and above, and you'd see that in this group there are 14 dots. 5 children are 3 years old, and again, it's a matter of counting. And that there are 11 children older than 3.5 and younger than 5, so between 3.5 and 4, and there's 11 dots. There are not 30 dots. There's only 27, so that's why the first one can't be true. And there is no outlier in this data set. Everything is compressed together. Okay. The second question states that Kevin and Jen are buying carpeting for their bedroom with an area of 92 square feet. The carpeting costs $3.89 per square foot, plus 45 cents per square foot for padding and 50 cents per square foot for installation. The sales tax on their purchase is $17.90. What is the total amount that Kevin and Jen will pay? I love it because it's adding decimals, refreshing to you that you need to align your decimal points, and it's also multiplying decimals. The way I solved this is I took the $3.89 per square foot, the 45 cents for the padding, and 50 cents per installation, and I added those together to get one price per square foot, which was $4.85. And then I'm going to multiply that by the number of square feet, which is 92. Remember when you multiply a decimal, did you multiply it and then place 2 decimal places in your answer because you have 2 decimal places in your problem? When you get that number for the total of the carpeting, you then would go back and add the tax. And the tax in this case was $17.90. When you did that, hopefully you saw that your answer, you got your price per square foot and added your tax. If you didn't do it that way, pause it here and do it. Yep, your answer should be $463.18. All right, let's go on to the lesson, the solve and share. 5th grade class recorded the height of each student. How could you organize the data? Let's make a dot plot to solve this problem. So a dot plot is a great way to organize data. You could put it in a tally chart first. You could organize it. What I'm going to do is look at my data real fast here. I see 55. I notice everything is to the nearest ½ inch. And I look for my lowest one as I'm skimming my row here. So I see a 50.5. Oh, I have a 50. Okay. I have a 60. That's my highest one I've seen so far. Yep, everything here seems to fall between 50 and 60. So that's going to make it very easy for me to make my line plot. It's going to go between 50 and 60. And I want to make sure, I'm going to probably mark every ½ inch here. But first I'm going to write my whole numbers just in case I need to amend my chart a little bit. I'm going to go back and place the ½ inch markers here, but it does not seem like I'm going to have any trouble fitting all these numbers in. Yay. Okay, it worked. And now I'm going to go back and mark little hashes. Notice between each whole number I've marked a line to indicate the half because I do have some measures that are marked by a half. Okay, so now I'm going through my dots. The best way to do this would be mark off as I record. 55. I have one of those. 52 marked there. Okay. 50 and 1/2. So here's 50, here's 50 and 1/2. I have another 55. I have another 50 and 1/2. 50. 55. 50 and 1/2. Ooh, 50 and 1/2 and 55 are neck and neck. There's another 55. A 58 and 1/2 right here. A 60. A 52. A 50 and 1/2. A 50 and 1/2 again. A 50. A 55. Ooh, two 55s. I can do those at once. 1, 2. A 58 and 1/2. And a 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Oh, I'm so sorry. Whoa, whoa, whoa. See, this is my day today. And did my whole thing go away? Let's see. It did. Oh, you know what? You saw what I was doing. The next step I was going to do would be to count to make sure I had all the data in. And I think I did. I think I was missing 150 and 1/2. Like when I counted it, I only had 5. If you go back to this video, I would have counted up. I probably would have had 19 dots, and then I would have had to go check my chart again to make sure. All right. Let's look at Emily's work here on the next part of the video. In this, I'm going to move this down a little bit. Emily puts the height of the student in inches. The thing, I don't know why she started her number line here at 48. I don't think she needed to. Had she started it at 50, I think she could have then marked the 1/2 inch increments easier and not push that all together. I don't care for how 50 and 1/2 doesn't have many line, a line to indicate it. Just kind of thrown in there. And Tyler did a good job. He made a tally chart, which is great for organizing data, but he never did the line plot. So therefore, it's incomplete. Refreshing your memory from yesterday's data landmarks: maximum, minimum, range, mode, median, and mean. Take a moment to answer those and write them right on your screen if you want. The maximum is the highest number. That's pretty simple. You just look at your chart when it's organized so nicely. See how organizing the data makes it all easy to read? The minimum is 0, so the difference between those, my range, is 8. My mode is my most often occurring data set, and that is 5. The median, 2 ways to find that. There are 15 pieces of data here, so the 8th one, counting forward, 1, 2, 3, the 8th one would be my median. Or you can mark it, a good strategy would be low and high, taking low to high, low, score high, low, high. And then I'm only left with 5s, so 5 is going to be my median. My mean, I would have to add up 1 plus 2, that's 3. And then 3 3s is 9, that's 12. When I add it up, hopefully I'm adding this up right today, is 67. And I would take this and I would divide it by 15, which is the number of pieces of data I have. When I do that, I get 4, and I have a remainder of 7. So that is fine for our purposes, 4 and 7/15. If you were to continue it by annexing zeros, add a decimal, annex a 0, you're going to find it's going to end up being a repetent answer here. I'm going to annex another 0. I get 100, which is going to be 6. And you see what happens here, that it's going to be a repetent 100. So it's going to be a repetent 4.6 here. This would be 4.46, repeating. Okay. All right. Going on to the visual learning. How can you use a line plot to organize and represent measurement data? And this is important because it's easier to read when it's organized. The dogs in Pauline's pet shop have the following weights. The weights are in pounds. How can I organize this information in a line plot? Well, the first thing you're going to want to do is write your data numbers from either high to low or put them in a tally chart. Okay? Or low to high. It doesn't matter, high to low. You just organize them and put them in a tally chart. From there, I look at a good increment for a number line. It looks like I'm going to have to go to 6, and 12 won't be high enough. I'll probably think the number line should be about 12 to 13, and I should be marking every 1/4 of an inch since that's what my data represents. And you simply convert your tally chart and carry it over to your number line. Please make sure your spacing looks good. Your dots are all consistently the same height. When you have one dot, it's all in the same place. So in that number line, which weight occurs most often? Remember, that's called your mode. Which one occurs the most often and which one occurs the least often? How can you tell from the plot? And that's why a plot is so helpful, because you can tell simply by looking at it. The highest one is the one that occurs the most often. And the lowest one, the least often, would be 7 1/4 and 11 1/2. Both those only occur once. So that is simply how you would make and read a line plot. So I'm putting a link in Classroom to SurveyMonkey survey. It's just 2 questions about something you like, and we're going to take the data and organize that in our Wednesday meeting. I've held off posting a time because I know Mr. Faust wants to have a meeting with you. So I'm going to wait to see what time he does that. If he's doing it tomorrow or Thursday, I'm not sure. You do have the practice buddy. Please remember to do 12-1 first and your thought for the day. I could do algebra, I'll do trig, and I'll even do statistics. But graphing is where I draw the line. I know, grown. All right, have a good day. Thanks for watching. I miss you.